I'm Mary Edna Fraser, and I'm an environmental activist artist.
And I'm Andrew Wunderley. I'm your Charleston Waterkeeper. We work to protect and restore Charleston's waterways, so you can use them for fishing, swimming, paddling without pollution.
And right now, we're on James Island Creek. Yeah, that's where we are. And this creek is wrecked. We're really having some problems here. In 2012, when I was swimming, I started getting sick. I started getting really sick. I got ear infections, I got throat infections, sometimes I'd have gastrointestinal things. And I went to everybody that should be concerned, and the Charleston Waterkeeper was the only group that cared enough to deal with it. And they started measuring bacteria on my dock. Tell me about it.
Yeah, that was back in 2013 or so. It's been, this is our beginning of our 8th season right now. And yeah, we sample bacteria levels at 15 different hotspots all around the Charleston area for swimming and paddling and fishing. We do 2 right here in James Island Creek, including just there off the end of your dock. And unfortunately, we get some really high results. We've actually had tests that are 24,000 times the state limit for safe recreational use. That suggests some really serious problems with bacteria in James Island Creek. The reason we sample bacteria is because it's an indicator for the disease-causing pathogens that are present in the waste of warm-blooded animals. And so I guess it's probably just best to be candid about what we're talking about. We're talking about poop. And human waste, animal waste can carry with it viruses and pathogens that make us sick when we swim or when we paddle or when we get that in our eyes and our nose and our mouth during recreational activity.
Well, we have found 2 big sewer leaks on this creek.
Yeah, just last year there were two big sewer leaks. One over by Harborview Road and another one just here off the Central Park Road that discharged raw sewage into the marsh or into the creek itself. And so those are sources of bacteria. Septic tanks can also be a source if they're malfunctioning or they haven't been inspected or maintained. Dog waste. A lot of people don't pick up after their dogs in their own backyards, and that can be a source of bacteria and waste to the creek as well. Boat discharges too from boats with marine heads, but that's not really a problem here as much as it is in some other places.
Today, I could actually swim in my creek safely because we haven't had any high tides, we haven't had any big rains. How often is that affecting my swimmability?
Oh, geez. Our data set shows a real strong correlation between rainfall and bacteria levels. So the more it's been raining, the worse water quality is. The longer it's been dry, the better water quality is. So just last week, we had really good results. They were very low for James Island Creek, which is fantastic. But it's been really dry. So what I would expect is after the first rainfall, the first sampling event after that, we'll have high bacteria levels. And that's because all that waste that ends up on the ground gets washed off into the nearest creek or river during the rain or the flood storm. During the rain or the flooding event. And so, a lot of people think all that flood water goes somewhere to be treated. It doesn't. It drains away and comes right into a creek.
Well, there are a lot of different groups that have helped with all of these issues. But we also have a task force, don't we?
Right. One of the neat things, we've been generating this data for 8 seasons now. And we've used that data to help folks realize that these creeks need to be taken care of, that we as a community need to take responsibility for them. And Mary Edna, you've really led the way with that, right? To stand up and say, this is my creek and I want to steward it and I want to see something done to get it cleaned up. And between you, our data, and some requirements in state and federal law, we've been able to get all our local elected officials, the city of Charleston, the county, Charleston County, town of James Island, to work together and come together under this James Island Creek Task Force. And that's going to be the group that will oversee all the different projects that we're going to need to collaborate on and implement to get this creek cleaned up to make sure it's safe for swimming all the time. Not just when it's been dry. This creek should be safe for swimming 100% of the time.
That's right. And under this umbrella of people who care, we may clean up some more creeks too.
Creek by creek.
Creek by creek.
That's how we're going to do it.
That's our mantra.
I mean, look at this. This is what makes our community special. These creeks, these rivers, the ability to be down here, to experience it firsthand, to fish, to swim, to paddle. I mean, this is what it's all about. This is what's worth fighting for.
Thanks. Oh, we can't.
Nope. 6 feet apart.
Yeah. Bye, y'all.
Yeah.